grumpy already, Trey.
I'm not grumpy.
Literally
grumpy.
perfectly as the video went live
He's
the question started.
like, all right, are we ready? And Trey's like, yeah, sure. God.
Well,
it's because it's late for you, huh?
I thought we, show up on time. That's all.
I was 1 minute late. I have a family.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome to another episode of Draft Busters here on the Vendetta Sports
Just
Media.
gonna say, if you're not on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Start the episode.
Okay.
Now we're late because of the episode because you keep yapping.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't get to talk to Trey much. It's gonna be a doozy.
You guys saw the title. That's why you clicked on this episode. We have Trey on. He is joining the Draft Busters, myself, and Chickster down there on the bottom. We're going to be going over our top 10 running back rankings for the 2025 NFL Draft. We are very excited to have Trey on. Trey, how are you doing this evening?
I'm all right. I guess my first question was, is this a sign that Draft Busters is having more guests on in the future? Like, am I the leadoff man for that?
Well, we'd like to.
You are the start. I told I was kind of thinking of doing this for the running back episode, but I wanted to have you on early in the start of the season before we get into like war rooms and stuff like that. I want to try to bring on somebody else next week for wide receivers as well. But I want to kind of go through like Twitter and like try to reach out to like different sites and stuff like that. Cause I know you did the mock draft stuff with some guys before the season. I kind of want to do the same thing with us and Draft Busters as well.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to try to work on this week. I texted Alex to see if he can find some guys that he wants to bring on. I'm going to try to find some guys as well. And we're going to kind of go from there.
I couldn't tell if this was a way of getting more guests or if this was a, hey, way to go on Bucky Irving. Way to go.
For what it's worth.
Look at you. You're already sucking your own cock. All right?
For what it's worth.
Like
there were two other people who also had Bucky Irving as running back one, but you were ahead of it. You were ahead of it. We did.
I thought you guys had him at two.
No.
I shared it on Twitter as well. Okay. It's somewhere on a reply to your tweet.
I thought you guys had Braylon Allen at number one.
I might have did Braylon Allen at number one. Now that I think back on it. I think I was fluctuating between the two.
I'll find the tweet later.
Garrett did have Bucky Irving.
I had Bucky at one. I
talked myself into Braylon Allen at number one, so there might be some truth to that.
I guarantee he's looking it up.
Hey,
right now.
Braylon Allen was a great pick too, though, but
just a terrible fit in New York. Terrible team to land
it
on.
It is New York. You know they got the 33rd team as their something.
I got an interview by them.
And Daniel Jeremiah wants them to draft Ashton Genty as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Or Zerline or one of the dudes at NFL.com want him to draft him.
I'm quite sure we'll get into plenty of Genty talk today.
That is true. That is 100% true.
I can't wait for that.
I do want to start it off really quick. We each have come up with our own top 10 rankings. The way Chickster and I typically do this is we do 1, 2, and we just kind of go back and forth. We're just going to do one by one every single time so we don't get confused. We're going to start with Trey, go to Chickster, then to me in that order. I'm explaining this at the beginning to make sure Alex is listening. We are going to start, though, with who do you not have on your top 10 list that you think is going to be seen as an omission, basically?
Before Grandpa gets upset, this is not a solidified list. It's like
I had it pulled up.
Yeah,
I was like, where's the disclosure, fucker?
I was getting there, motherfucker. Okay, so disclosure, it is February 11th.
11th.
Okay,
I gotta put my hood up like Chickster
because
now we're good.
Yeah, look at that, a fucking fan. Look at this guy. Yeah, everyone's a fan of Chickster. That's what I can't help it these days. You know what I mean? They just follow me around.
Twinsies.
You know? We gotta get you a Chickster shirt next.
Alex, what's the disclosure?
I'm sorry. As of February 11th, this is our list as of February 11th. When we get to the end of the draft season, kind of right before the draft, we probably will have more solid rankings of what we really think about these guys. And because right now we haven't had the combine yet, so combine numbers can really change a lot of things about it, and a lot of opinions. Going through the drills and also getting their measurements and all that good stuff. So. Just so Trey knows, this is not the final
list.
These
rankings are subject to change.
We have Jalen Milrose measurements, small hands. So I thought Chickster would like him because he has small hands.
He got baby hands. All right.
Are we ready?
Okay.
One more thing from last week. It's Tyler Shug. Like I'm giving you a hug, but it's Shug.
It's not my fault. He has a fucked up last name.
Yeah, how the fuck was anyone supposed to know how to pronounce
He's
that fucking last name? It's ridiculous.
Louisville.
Shug. Yeah, see, I already fucking butchered it.
Trey loves the quarterbacks from Louisville. That's why. He loves those guys.
I'll have him higher ranked than you guys did. I'll say that.
Interesting. Okay.
Well,
that is true. To plug Trey's work that he does for VendettaSportsMedia.com, there is nobody better that you're going to find out there when it comes to NFL draft stuff in general than Trey. He's got it mentioned below his name. Check out VendettaSportsMedia.com between now and the draft and really all year round for the stuff that Trey does towards college football stuff, because you're not going to find anything better.
I will say I think his best positions are like cornerback and wide receiver. I think those are his best ones. Sometimes I don't agree with the other ones, but the wide receiver and cornerback ones, he's pretty top notch. On running backs, he's okay, I guess.
Okay.
Chickster, who do you have outside of your top 10 that the majority of people are going to have inside of their top 10?
I would like to say one thing first.
Well, go ahead. Your turn.
Tell me one running back I was wrong about this last draft.
God bless.
One.
I was just joking. God, dude fell for the race.
Pick one.
You know what? I can always count on Trey to fall for some bait. I would throw some outrageous shit in the Slack, and Trey's like, "Well, what the fuck? You know what? You can't." And I'm just like,
Jonathan Brooks. Win.
Yeah, well, I wasn't in
on brother can't help also that he fucked up his knee again.
He was damaged goods coming in.
Well, I guess.
Okay. Well, anyway, is it my turn now?
Yep.
Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Especially like recency bias is kind of a bitch. I do want to say like top 15 running backs, and I feel like could be productive in the NFL. But the guy I have outside of the top 10 that's probably into the top 10 is Cam Scatabo. I feel like because of how Arizona State played and how well he played in the playoff game that some people put him in the top 10. I don't think he's there as of right now. Full disclosure, Trey, just so you're hearing the disclosure part, that he is not in that top 10 for me at this point in time.
Trey, who do you have outside of your top 10 that people are going to be like, what the fuck? How did you miss your 10 list?
I think I have multiple answers, so I don't really know who to pick.
Well, just pick
it's a matter of
the most egregious one.
It's a matter of who I want, who I almost put in, or who people are going to scream at me for not being in.
Who are the people going to scream at you for not having in?
That's what you like, is when people scream
you want
at
one
you.
or two answers?
Give us two. Why not?
Probably the Iowa back, Caleb Johnson, not on the top 10.
I don't have him in my top 10 either.
And Ollie Gordon, also not in the top 10.
Well, I have him in my top 10. So.
Okay. Subject to change, Chickster.
Subject to change.
This is also subject to change. I will say that I have Caleb Johnson in my top 10, and we'll go over the top 10 rankings here in a little bit. My two, I don't have Cam Scatabo. I don't have Ollie Gordon either in my top 10. I think this year really just absolutely tanked Gordon's draft stock. I think that, obviously hindsight being 2020, maybe he should have pulled a move, something like what we saw with Quinshot Judkins, transferring out to a bigger program that could have helped his draft stock. I think that the Oklahoma State offense was trash this year, and his play in particular was not very good.
Garrett, I don't know how much of the Senior Bowl film you went through yet, but just from watching the broadcast, I thought he was horrible.
He did not have a good week. No, he did not have a good week at all.
Especially for a guy who's like, he's big. Like, he's not a tiny back.
He's 6'3".
For him to, I saw multiple reps where he was just getting fucking pancaked in pass protection drills. It's like, dude, your one quality is you're a big back and you're getting bullied. Like, how is that even possible? Anyway.
Oh, good.
We are going to start off the 2025 NFL Draft running back rankings with Trey. Like we said, Trey, who's your number 10 running back in the class?
All right, so right now I have Rocket Sanders, South Carolina.
Okay.
I probably would have had him higher had he just been at Arkansas and kept fucking trucking along and being a tank, but he had some knee injuries and wasn't always smooth. But I thought this past year he had a really nice year at South Carolina, especially in the second half of the year. got off to a bit of a slow start, but I think he's got some. Like, he's not a tiny back either, but I think he's going to run decently fast. Like, he's not going to blow you away, but his 40 time will be probably a plus. Good body, can catch the ball, had a couple fumbles, but I think he's talented. So he's number 10 so far.
Chickster, swing it over to you. Who's your number 10?
I put Devin Neal. I think he doesn't have the biggest size in the world, but he does have a good sense of balance. Can catch out of the backfield. I think he was one of the better parts of the Kansas offense. So we saw a lot of sample size with him, but I think I really think he can actually have a little bit of something. Like I said, I think the top 15 running backs in this class could be productive in the NFL. So, he's a guy that you probably, if you can get him in day 3, that's you're cooking, but he'll probably be a late day 2 pick.
My number 10 running back in the class is Brashard Smith out of SMU.
Oh.
I've got stats for all of my guys as well. He totaled 1,332 yards, which was second in the ACC, 14 touchdowns, 5.7 yards per carry. I think he came on strong towards the end of the year. I think that he's a guy who's got nice footwork. You can see that he has the vision out of the backfield. The patience is what might not be his strongest suit right now. He has the ability to hit the long ball. He's not a home run hitter, though. Absolutely not like a breakaway home run guy. I think he's got really good balance at first contact. I think that he is someone who should test really well at the combine, I believe, and should see his draft stock rise a little bit than what it is projecting right now, which is like a day 3 pick for me.
I can see that. He's a former if you're looking for the next, hey, maybe he's the next Tyrone Tracy. He was also a former wide receiver at Miami, so don't hate it. I'll say that.
Trey, who do you have? Trey, who do you have at 9?
I should probably just keep this list open, huh?
That's a good idea.
Might be beneficial.
I have Scattaboo at 9. And I wasn't on this train for a while, but he's grown on me. And damn it, maybe human evolution is real, and maybe the spirit of Mike Allstott is back. I don't know. There's just something about him. Like, he's not just one of these chubby guys that runs hard.
He's got a hard. He's a competitor.
It's not just that though. He's throwing passes down the field. He's catching balls. His contact balance was unbelievable in some of the games that we watched. So I'm gonna put him at 9 for now. I'm gonna see how he tests, but he's grown on me. I don't think he's nothing.
Well, I had him at 11 for what it's worth. So, but like I said,
he could very well be 11 by the time I'm done.
Yeah, I think some recency bias, but I do think he could, like I said,
Rich man's Rex Burkhead.
I think he's
maybe
a little bit more. I think
Rex Burkhead was in the league for a decent amount of time.
I think he's more than that, though.
I said Rich man's.
I know, but more than
I just don't know that he's gonna run well, and that's kind of my turnoff. I mean, I know that there's guys in the NFL who didn't run very well that are good running backs. I mean, look at Kyron Williams with the Rams. He didn't run very well at all, and he won himself a starting job and a prominent role in the offense. Speed isn't everything, but that dude's not going to run very fast with the combine.
But what if he's a fullback and a running back?
Then I guess, but how many offenses are using fullbacks enough to warrant a late day 2, early day 3 pick?
The smart ones,
I guess.
The Raiders about to run the 22 personnel.
Baltimore uses a fullback a lot.
Well, it helps that they have one of the best in the game, to be fair.
And Lamar Jackson.
The dual running back system might be a thing of the future.
It might be. We'll have to see. Chickster, who do you have at
head
9?
Coach 09. That's Trey. That's Trey's thing.
I do run that sometimes.
That's
he got 22 personnel going on. That's his shit right there.
Yeah.
For me, this is where I put Ollie Gordon at 9. As you kind of said, if you looked before last year, you're like, man, this is probably a top 5 back in the NFL draft. And then not all of it was his fault, but Oklahoma State's offense it was cheeks. It was horrible. But you can kind of see.
I thought you were going to put Alan Bowman in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, that guy is awesome. Put him next to him, Connor Wagner.
Yeah.
Both of those guys.
Uh-huh.
Dual.
I do.
Best 2 quarterbacks of the generation. But I mean, he's still. I still think he can play a little bit. Maybe guys just have bad weeks at Senior Bowls, but kind of want to see how he does at the combine. Maybe he can get some of that draft stock a little bit back. But I mean, yeah, he didn't look very well. But I'm kind of going based off of what I think he can be, not necessarily what he is right now. I'm hoping that he kind of just had a bad week and he can still play, because if not, then he's a one-hit wonder.
I find it a little weird that him and Chuba Hubbard have basically done the exact same thing. Really good first year.
Chuba Hubbard's a starting running back.
Really good first year at Oklahoma State, and then right down the toilet. And then it took him like 3 years to figure it out in the NFL.
Maybe
that might happen for Ollie Gordon. It might happen. He's starting NFL quarterback or running back now. So, I mean, maybe that's all. I think he's better than Chuba, but I think
is he?
That's Ollie Gordon. So,
that Senior Bowl performance he put out was that's just not what he needed. Like his draft stock was already kind of, I don't want to say dwindling necessarily, but it was taking a bit of a nosedive, and that performance was not.
Some of the games during the year, even I watched, like they beat Arkansas, but it wasn't because of Ollie Gordon.
Yeah, it's fine. He's at
my number 9 running back in the draft class is Rocket Sanders out of South Carolina. 881 yards on the ground, 11 touchdowns, 4.8 yards per carry, 4th in the SEC, which I thought was kind of surprising that these SEC kind of had a bit of a down year at the running back position, which was surprising. I agree with Trey that I think that if he would have stayed at Arkansas and just stayed in that system and the run style that they had
been healthy last year,
health would have played a factor as well, yes. But we saw Sanders come on really well at the end of the year and kind of get back into that just bowling ball, fuck you kind of mentality and just run through a fucker's face. Right?
Should have been a playoff team.
I think that if Sanders, the combine could be huge for a guy like Sanders, and especially the medicals. If he clears through all those medicals and he runs a really good 40 time, I think that we could see him start to rise up a little bit. I think he's well worth that day 3 picks. He needs to be on a roster somewhere just for his thumping ability alone.
What would be a good 40 time for him?
Anything under 4.6.
I was gonna say if he runs
4.4, like late 4.4 easy.
If he runs like 4.53 at the combine,
that'd be great.
That'd be exceptional for him. Yeah. That's all we can hope for. Yeah.
At his size, absolutely.
At his size, that's
holy
the thing.
Fuck.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
All right, Trey, hit us with number 8.
I have RJ Harvey, Central Florida, who I thought looked unbelievable at the Senior Bowl. Caught the ball. He might be the best pass catcher of all the running backs. I thought he caught the ball extremely well, especially in the route stuff. And he had a monster year at Central Florida. I mean, a monster. If he wasn't on their team, they might have won 2 games. Like he absolutely carried them. I think he's gonna run fast. He's one of those guys that absolutely can bend and get to where he needs to be and knows how to get to his spot. So I would assume that I'm gonna be higher on him by the end of this, but we'll see.
I do not have Harvey on my top 10.
Yeah, so but
I don't hate it though.
What? Like Trey also watched more Central Florida football than I did, so I can attest.
I watched them against TCU. I watched them against Iowa State. I watched him get killed by somebody.
Well, and I think that speaks a little bit more to your knowledge, because I don't think you've ever watched a draft and you didn't know who the fuck that person was.
Well, it's all documented on the site, so.
Okay.
Anything that I said, you'll find it there somewhere.
That's true.
So, I like reading about his comments about like his draft notes, like weekly ones, and then he talks about the offensive lineman goes, "What an ass." Like,
that's my favorite fucking thing that he says. I love going through his offensive line notes because it's all "what an ass" on this kid.
Yeah,
like, all right,
it matters.
It does.
He's
true.
a mass man.
When it comes to the offensive line, nothing else matters more than their ability to recover from chaos.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. So, because it's going to happen.
Because you're in chaos every fucking snap. You're always at a disadvantage. the ones who are able to really bend and recover are the ones who always make it.
I mean, there you go. Wise words. Number
Right.
8 for me. This is where I put this is where I put Raheem Sanders.
Wow,
you guys-
I didn't think you guys were gonna have him on. Okay,
Really?
I didn't know what you guys.
But
were
you
gonna
thought
do.
we were gonna have RJ Harvey?
No, I said I thought I was gonna be left alone on that one, but I didn't think you guys were gonna have Sanders either.
You gotta give us some credit. We also picked. Well, one of us picked, at least for sure, Bucky Irving number 1, and when the other person I'm at 2. So you gotta give us more credit.
All right.
Okay. But you guys have kind of already mentioned he's a big back. Injuries are a concern, but I mean, if his legs are good, and I think if he runs really well, I mean, he can do pretty much anything. He can be a quality running back in the NFL. Like, especially at RB2, could be a really good handcuff. He's gonna get looks. If he could just stay healthy, that's gonna be his main thing. But keep his legs good. But I think he'll be really good there. So
my number 8 running back for me is going to be Damian Martinez out of Miami. I think that if it's kind of hard to say that he didn't necessarily end up in the best landing spot at Miami. Like at the time, going from Oregon State to Miami, this was viewed as an absolute win for Cristobal, right? I don't necessarily know outside of Trey that we were going to see the type of year that we got from Cam Ward. So I think that playing with someone at the high caliber of Cam Ward, it kind of sounds funny to say it knocks his draft stock a little bit, but I think that he was productive down the stretch of the year, finished with just over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6.3 yards per carry is really, really solid. I think that he's got the footwork you're looking for, right? I think it's mostly going to be a consistency kind of thing for me. I think that if he displayed more consistency this year, I probably would have had him a little bit higher. I think you never knew what kind of Martinez you were getting on a game-by-game basis, and maybe that part of that is the game plan of Cristobal. But I think that he showed enough for me at Oregon State the year prior to where I'm still in, but maybe not as high as I was as was a year ago.
Fair enough.
Very happy to have Cam Ward on my fantasy team here coming up for $3. Very happy about that.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Poor dude's going to get stuck in fucking Tennessee, though, with nobody there to play with him.
Probably.
Although, I don't know. They made the pick available, so.
Doesn't he have Treylon Burks? Is he still there? Like a big guy. That's a big wide receiver.
That's a big body. That's about it.
Big body for him.
He's got nice running backs, though.
Credit to you, Chickster.
Yeah, I got you.
Good one.
All right, Trey, hit us with 7.
Yeah, lucky 7.
All right. I have Kyle Monungai from Rutgers.
Holy fuck.
Yes, sir.
Big fan.
Just missed my top 10 list.
Led the Big Ten in rushing yards last year. Did it again basically all year. I mean, that Rutgers team is just not good. And he is a tank. He was, you say whatever you want about Monungai. He put up way better numbers than Ray Rice did at Rutgers. So I think he can run. He's broken tackle ability, and he's a maniac. He's got that. He has the Pacheco in him where he runs like a maniac, but he doesn't look as Riri when he does it. That kind of thing.
It's true.
He can run, and he's fucking big, and he's talented. So I'm gonna try to hopefully get Monungai in all the fantasy leagues, long-term ones that I can.
Well, that's how you tell.
Monungai just missed my top 10. I was kind of flirting between him and Brashard Smith for that 10 spot. I like Monungai's game a lot.
It's just a cool name, Monungai.
Every article I wrote, I just all capsed it and hope that people would, when they read it, just say Monungai.
Like it's a tribal,
Yeah.
I get it. 7. This is where I put ETN, Trevor Etienne.
I wanted to list him.
Well, he's better than his brother. His brother's learning how to play.
I agree with that.
But he's better than his brother. Kind of smaller back, but he's a good sized back. He can catch out of the backfield. Georgia's offense was not good. Some of that was Carson Beck. Some of that was just, I don't know.
They led FBS in drop passes, so that didn't.
Yeah, I mean, but their wide receivers were not as good as they usually are. They didn't have no Lad McConkeys or Brock Bowers, man.
You
Bowers,
felt the
what a
absence of those
fucking guy, man.
playmakers.
What a fucking guy, Brock Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about exciting white, a premium cracker. That's what we're talking about. Brock Bowers.
Hey, your team could have taken DeGene and doubled up on him.
Wait, what are we? The all-white squad? Oh my god!
Seems like that's what we were rooting for.
In on that.
It also seemed to work for the fucking Eagles.
I was not in on DeGene, so
we're very well aware.
You don't see white corners, all right? No one can blame me. Okay. He's got,
except for the fact that Riley Moss was on the same college team.
Ancestry.com, he's probably got some black in him because he plays corner pretty well.
He returns kicks too.
There you go. Well, that's a white quality. I feel like there's a lot of white.
All right, go ahead. Keep going.
All right. I guess we don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay, whatever. Yeah, ETN. I think he's gonna be better than his brother. He's got a little pizzazz to him. I think he's a little bit more explosive than his brother. So
he's bigger than his brother.
Is he bigger than his brother?
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go. So, and I mean, like, height wise, that was the same, but like, I guess weight wise, he's bigger. So, yeah. But ETN, I put him at 7. I don't know any Manung guys or anything, so I'm sorry, or RJ Harveys. So I said that one right too, Manung guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad Trey said his last name because to this point, I still had no idea how to pronounce his last name.
I mean, we were talking about Tyler Shug.
Shug.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Hey, I got it. Let's go.
Schlau. Like Stidham?
We said his name is Schlau last week.
He's got to earn it. He's got to earn it. Those guys, if they got
to earn the proper pronunciation.
Well, I would say ETN deserves the right to be called by his last name or his correct name based on just the 2 games against Texas alone.
Is that how you say it?
No, I'm just saying he deserves his name properly enunciated because of his 2 games against Texas by itself, because he was unbelievable in both of those games.
Yeah, you should have won the 3rd one, right? Here we go. Next one.
They didn't play a 3rd one.
Yeah, well, that's all I heard was bitching and complaining about a 3rd time. So.
My number 7 running back is Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. 1,537 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6.4 yards per carry. Led the Big Ten in rushing this year. I say this without fully having the NFL comparison to this player. However, there's shades of his game that reminds me of Le'Veon Bell in the sense that he's got the patience at the line of scrimmage to be able to wait for the blocks to manifest and has the burst to get through the blocks. I really love that about his game.
The Jets version?
No. Like not way past prime Le'Veon Bell. I'm talking prime Le'Veon Bell. But again, that's not my NFL comp / comparison for him, but he's got shades of it in his game. I think that he's got the ability to shed those tackles too, which is a really important part of the running back game. I think he's kind of a do it all back. I think that if you took Caleb Johnson and put him on a bigger program, he would be higher on people's list. And that's obviously that's nothing he can do about it because he chose to play at Iowa. But I think that he's somebody who could really surprise a lot of people with his testing at the combine.
I had him at 12. So he's not too far off from my top 10 list, but Trey doesn't like him. He said people were going to be mad at him because he didn't have him in the top 10.
I wouldn't say I don't like him. I just would say that I wouldn't spend a 2nd round pick on him.
Well, no.
Which is probably where he's going to go.
I think there's really only like 2 running backs you could take in the 2nd round, and that's it.
The way these I've looked at a couple mock drafts. They love this guy.
They can't.
I saw mock drafts he was going in the 1st round.
With as deep as the running back class is, you can't go 1st round with a running back.
No.
You can't even go you can't be the first one to pick a running back, even if you're getting your best guy. Like it's like just draft malpractice, and I would know about that. I would, okay, as a Raiders fan, I know all about that. I am the most experienced one to say something about that. I feel like so you can't be the first one when there's starting to run on running backs. That's when you need to grab your guy. Like I said, I think 15 of these guys in the draft could be productive. So. Where are we at? 6?
We're at 6 and on to Trey.
Okay. For number 6, I have Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. led the SEC in rushing. He got robbed of whatever the I think it's the Doak Walker Award. Oh my God. I mean, he wasn't even on the fucking list after 1,400-yard season. He was Nico wasn't quite ready to take the extra leap. He was the offense. And when he got hurt in the Ohio State game, they totally fell apart, which I think is important. Just shows how like impactful he is. So I think he can play. I said it last year. I thought he was way better than Jalen Wright. So, and the season that he just had, it sure looks like he's better than Jalen.
I didn't like Jalen Wright coming into the draft last year, but
I don't
we only hear about what Trey thinks.
Well, I don't think anybody liked Jalen Wright on our draft team. So I think he's way better than Jalen Wright. And he's more of a complete back too. He's not going to run the same 40 time, but he's a better pure running back.
He's still going to run a good 40 though.
He's going to run a great 40.
I think in mid-30s, maybe a late 31, 4:30. I think late.
You think he's going to run a 4.31?
No, like late, like 4.3, like 8-ish.
We'll see.
I bet you he's between 4.35 and 4.4 for sure.
That would be amazing.
I think it'll happen.
All right, Chickster, let's hear it. Number 6.
I got Omarion Hampton here. I put Omarion Hampton.
Oh, fuck. I didn't put him on the list either.
That's your omission right there. That's the one that's going to get people pissed, is not having Hampton in your top 10.
I may have him eventually, but I'll keep it the way I have it.
You're skeptical about him.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Like, really, last year, but after the draft, I had him, I think, either top 5 or top 3 in my rankings. This is just way too early draft rankings for the next year. But UNC's offense is not very good. They didn't have Drake May this year. And it shows his production took quite a bit of a dip, but I don't think UNC really had anything going on offense regardless. I think he was one of the few bright spots at times for that team. I still think he could play pretty well. But I think he was the only guy at UNC. So he probably should have transferred after Drake May left, knowing that there was no offensive whatever going on. But maybe he thought, hey, I'm going to get the ball. I can show out a little bit. But I do think he's going to be I have him at 6 right now. So subject to change, he might go down. I don't see him really going up from there. I could see him going down, though.
My number 6 running back in the class is Devin Neal out of Kansas. Ooh. And this is more so projecting what I think he could do at the next level, because we're seeing the importance of versatility in our running backs, and Devin Neal is among the better pass catchers in this running back class. He's still finished top 5 in the Big 12 in rushing with 1,266 yards, 16 touchdowns. So he can produce on the ground. But what really intrigues me about Neal's game is that he's got great route running skills out of the backfield, very dependable pass catcher. And I think that he has, I don't want to use the term workload, like workhorse ability, but at the same time, he is somebody that I could trust to have on the field 3 downs most of the game, and on 3rd down, especially because of his versatility out of the backfield.
He scorched your favorite team, Colorado. Scorched them.
Jared loves Colorado.
Loves them.
It's true. It's my favorite program.
Favorite quarterback, favorite program, all of that good stuff at Colorado.
Everything. Absolutely. All right, Trey, we're on to our top 5s, and it starts with you. Who's your 5th running back in the class?
This is where I have Damian Martinez. He just looks a lot like Ramondre Stevenson to me. Like I was hoping, my hope was he was going to be the next Steven Jackson. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Oh, that's high.
But I think we saw kind of what he is this year, which is early in the season, they really tried to hand the keys to him. They said, "You're our fucking guy. Here's the ball 1,000 times." And he just was kind of underwhelming. But when they kind of made it committee backfield, hey, Mark Fletcher's getting this series. Mark Fletcher's getting the other series. He fucking popped off. And I think he was unbelievable in the short yardage stuff. He can catch too. And for a big guy, I think he's gonna run faster than Kyron Williams did. So I've been high on Martinez for a while since he played at Oregon State. So we'll see if I have him at 5, but I like him a lot.
Number 5. This is where I had Dylan Sampson. I had Dylan Sampson at number 5. Like we kind of went over, he led the rushing for the SEC. He's fast. I think he's going to test well. I think the speed's really going to be on display for him. Maybe top 3 speed in this draft, at least out of the quality running backs. I think he's going to do what
if you count the Smurfs.
Huh?
Depends if you count the Smurfs.
I just said quality.
Like that stupid Delaware back, he'll probably run a ridiculous time.
And someone
There's a
will
kid
draft
out of
him
Virginia
high for
Tech too, who's probably
Yeah.
gonna fly at the combine too. Yeah.
What Chickster loves to rip those toots.
What? I'm just sitting here. Anyway, I have Dylan Sampson at number 5. So
my number 5 running back is Omarion Hampton as of right now, and this is kind of why I felt kind of weird about my rankings in this kind of section, because I feel like Hampton might be a little high on my list, but I didn't really know where I could make some of those adjustments. He did lead the SEC or the ACC in rushing, 1,660 yards, 15 touchdowns, almost 6 yards a carry. I think that Chickster kind of said it where I think that he would have really benefited from transferring out of UNC once the prime of that offense was gone with Drake May. I mean, the head coaching situation was a fucking disaster. Should have fired the dude last year because of how horrific that team looked. They kept him on for this year. Hampton's got some skills to him. I just don't know that. I think testing will keep him where he's at, where some of these other running backs on our list, testing is going to improve their stock. I don't really know how much higher Hampton ceiling is going to get in this draft class.
I think
he's better than Javonte Williams.
I think Javonte.
I liked
better,
Javonte a lot coming out. I loved Javonte Williams.
But Javonte can't stay healthy.
Well, we're talking coming out though.
Yeah.
Coming out, I'd probably have Javonte higher than Hampton.
That's what I think.
So,
all right, we're into the top 4.
This is me.
Yes, it's you.
All right. Here's Ashton Genty, Boise State, number 4. I don't know what I really need to say other than the video that I just made the other day.
Shit on Mount West. Shit on the Mount West. Make Hannafin mad.
Hannafin's ears are ringing right now.
I mean, this is actually what I really want to talk about. So
got him.
When the playoff was announced and we knew that Boise State was going to get a bye, and then we knew they were going to play Penn State, I was furious because I thought, oh, here we go. People are going to figure out that he's not a Hall of Fame back. They're going to play Penn State. He's going to get somewhat exposed, and somebody is going to realize, hey, maybe he shouldn't go in the top 5. And apparently the Penn State game changed nothing. He did exactly what I thought he would do in the Penn State game. I guess I wouldn't say I predicted 2 fumbles, but the 2 fumbles were horrible. He averaged 3 yards a carry against Penn State, and I know the Penn State's front is way better, but I didn't see a Hall of Fame Barry Sanders level running back. He has to be to get drafted at that spot.
There was not a lot of people were talking to him like he was generational. He's good.
Yeah,
he's really good. I think he's one of the better.
And this is a good running back draft. So for me to have him 4 is not. I don't view it as crazy.
I have him a little bit higher. No spoilers, but I have him a little bit higher. But it's, I think what that showed was also that Boise State's offense was not good at all. It's not.
Who are they playing?
The Mountain
That's
West.
You have to take into consideration too, and it's not.
Now I'll say this:
the most fair argument, but
his Oregon game, great game against Oregon. But I'll remind people of this: if you go back to Oregon's actual season, they literally almost lost to fucking who'd they play? Idaho. They almost lost to Idaho in week 1. That Oregon team was not the same Oregon team that you saw 5 weeks later.
Yeah. Well, even then, I don't know.
I don't think Oregon's front is anything crazy.
Not what they were used to. Not what it's been in years past. I think they had a few good years of having a really good front. And
I like his contact balance, but this is probably going to be my comp for him. I think he's going to be a worse version of prime Zeke Elliott.
His second or third year.
Yeah.
He might be better than that because I don't know. Zeke is Zeke.
Zeke was fantastic during his
He was, but they also had a really good offensive line.
Yeah, I know.
But
he might get picked by Dallas too.
But if he doesn't have a really good offensive line, then I mean, I think he's better than Zeke was without a really good.
I mean, he's got something to him. He can fucking he can really break those long home run balls, which is not nothing.
Well, Hannafin he's got to dial back his Mountain West love just a little bit. Like y'all remember what happened in the tournament, the basketball, that was ugly. Tournament. He was all Mountain West, and they got fucking fucked. They got fucked worse than a gangbang. It was bad. Like it was like they got exposed. So except for like one or two teams. So they were not like an 8-team.
They're not playing the same sport across all of these conferences.
Yeah, so
they're just not.
They're playing JV and there's varsity ball. You know, that's
I think it's more distinct than that. I think Mountain West is like single A, and the SEC would be like MLB.
Dang, they didn't even get a double.
No. Damn. I'd say maybe the Big 12 is double A.
Well, I don't know about that, but
I don't know about the Big 12 either.
You robbed them of Texas. You robbed them of Oklahoma. You've taken away all their good teams.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Ooh, Oklahoma State.
Running back 4.
Kansas.
This is where I had Damian Martinez.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Well, why are you surprised?
You like him?
Huh?
You like him?
I'm just saying we're gonna get Cam Ward, and we're gonna get Damian Martinez. We're gonna get the linebacker. I don't know how to say his name, but we're gonna get that guy too. Like we're gonna get all these fucks. But no, yeah, he's good. He's a big back. You kind of already touched on it earlier. He can catch. I think you got to use him in spurts, and like he's not gonna be a worker. It's not a guy you can give the ball to every play, but he's gonna especially I felt like he played better in the second half when defenses were a little bit more worn down, and he could just go pure power.
If you watch some of his broken tackles where he's dragging like 5-6 fucking guys on his back.
Yeah, he's gonna if teams know he's not getting the ball every play, and then he gets the ball occasionally, periodically, he's gonna hurt you a little bit. So, he's not one of these backs that it's not Ashton Genty versus the Mountain West to where everyone knew he was getting the ball. They put 9 guys in the box. They're still getting.
Buffalo could have used Martinez to close that game out.
Yeah,
just a big back that can fucking hammer you.
Or you just play James Cook.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe play your best offensive weapon.
Imagine
what a concept.
But I mean, you want to talk about fantasy wise, a guy that's going to get you a lot of touchdowns. Like I could see that role for him. Like especially just if you have a smaller back on the team, he's going to snipe a lot of touchdowns. He might get 3 carries and 2 of them are touchdowns. If you get like Jalen Hurts tush push kind of shit. So I do like him, but he's going to be able to do more than that. He can play. So I have him at 4.
My RB4 in the class is going to be Quinshon Judkins at Ohio State. I think that, and I honestly, looking at this list, I might even be too low on him, to be honest. I think that he is what Ashton Genty almost like Ashton Genty fans think Ashton Genty is, except he's not. He's better. And I say that's kind of funny because I have Genty 1 spot ahead, a bit of a spoiler. But Quinshon Judkins.
How does that make sense?
I wish you'd. I dealt with this shit last week where you just don't fucking listen to a word that I say, and we're still dealing with this shit now. It's amazing.
I'll get to change, Chickster.
It's amazing to me that a family with such big fucking ears like yours has just absolutely refuses to listen to anything anybody says.
Subject to change.
It's ridiculous. Subject to change.
See, he didn't say that.
He's got bowling ball tendencies to him, and that's what I love about Judkins' game. It's the balance that you look for. It's a plus. The footwork is a plus. He's got the short area burst that you absolutely want. He kind of showed in the national championship game that he doesn't have home run speed. Not really sure where he's going to run the 40 time at. Might be a little bit slower than what some people think, but physical, absolutely a downhill runner. I love his game. Judkins at 4.
You didn't explain how.
Trey, who's your Who's your running back? Who's your running back 3?
All right.
Well, I have Judkins 1 spot ahead of Genty, so we can just keep the conversation going, I guess. I'm a fan of Judkins. I don't know like how good he is, but one of the biggest signs of success in terms of guys transferring from college to NFL, if they can really be something as freshmen, it's usually a pretty good sign. And this dude was the best back in the SEC at Ole Miss right out of the gate. So I don't think there's any question that he can play. It's a matter of how good he is. I don't think he's going to run fast either in terms of like, 4.3's coming. No, that's not coming. But I mean, he can really catch the ball well too. Like he's not going to be a liability in that area. And how about some of the plays he made in the national championship game in terms of just blocking?
Yeah,
He's
I was about to say pass
kicking guys.
blocking.
He's nasty. He runs with power, hard to tackle, and he's got almost maybe a Maurice Jones-Drew quality where he kind of gets lost behind the offensive line and knows how to pick his spots, and defenders really don't know how to tackle him. I think he's a really good player.
He stays low, is kind of elusive at the line, waits
Yep.
for the hole, and he hits it hard. It's
He's a real back. So
Yeah.
I have him at 3 for now, subject to change.
So I just want to know how Judkins like is a better version of Genty, but like I don't know. That didn't make sense. I was curious. I have him at 3 as well. Yeah, a lot of the same reasons. He did fuck me out of some money because I needed Henderson to get some touchdowns, and
Any
Judkins
fucking score in that game.
and he
Judkins sniped
took
all of
the
them.
fucking touchdowns, and I was just like, "What the
Pissed.
fuck?" I'm like, I'm asking them not to be with.
Yeah, but I think that was a good game for Judkins to have because the game before it was Henderson who was the
Well,
fucking
yeah,
hero.
it was an awesome game for him. I needed fucking money.
He's worried about his parlays.
This dude's got NIL. He's gonna be in the NFL. Like he's got money. I need money.
You'll have it soon enough.
It's not. I'm praying for faster, not necessarily if it's gonna happen. That's the road.
He needs that shit expeditiously.
I think we're looking at maybe 650 days for you.
Yeah, I'm good with it. It's more money than I'm making now. So I mean that's what it is. But I am also at 3. Garrett, I feel like
just drinking lemonade.
Bro, Caitlin, why is your
At least we have somebody in the chat. I appreciate that.
Like the whole ass picture, Caitlin. Why is your forehead?
Now I know how the comments work on this thing because when I was doing the live streaming the other day, I was like, I don't know how these pop up in here.
Yeah, you just click on comments and you just click on show and it'll show it in there for as long as you want.
Look at that.
And then you just press hide.
Forehead.
And it goes away. Damn.
I got more money than you. All right, whatever. I'm not gonna get in a fight with my sister right now. Garrett, I feel
great auctioneer once upon a time. Great auctioneer once upon a time.
Yeah, she did all right. No,
my RB3 is Ashton Genty only because, and I have him higher only because of the production factor. Now that's of course. Judkins chose to go to Ohio State, right? He knew that Trayvon Henderson was there. He's not going to get the kind of opportunities. I think
he did that on purpose.
I think both things, that is true. I think both things can be true. I think we should credit someone for being uber productive, but also look at the quality of play they're going against. Yes, Genty led FBS in rushing, right? 2,600 yards, 7 yards a carry, 29 touchdowns. And that's all the while sitting out a ton of fourth quarters because Boise State was up big. That he deserves credit for that. On the other side of that, though, like Trey was saying, he's playing against the Mountain West. Apparently, that's single A ball, right? Maybe double A, but it's a lower league than everything else. Sorry, Hannafin. I think that the balance is really going to show well in the NFL. I think that he has that physicality where it's going to translate well. I just caution people because he's going to go in the first round. He's going to go in the first round. I don't think he goes past 12 to Dallas. I want to caution people now that one, that's going to be a terrible pick, and 2, he's not going to produce the way that people are going to expect him to produce in the NFL.
Oh, if he don't run for 2,000 yards his rookie season, people are going to be like, "What the fuck happened?"
I just want to caution the people out there because it's not going to look as good as you want it to.
How much better is he than Doug Martin was?
The muscle hamster?
Yeah.
Well,
I
He's
think he's
better,
than
but I
Yeah,
mean,
I agree.
it's
I agree.
close.
Okay.
Doug Martin's not bad.
Bro, Doug Martin's thighs, though, they're like,
But
He's a
You know what I
thick
mean?
fuck.
so
like,
is Genty, and they both went to Boise State, and Doug Martin put up big numbers. And
That's
how much
fair.
better is he?
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
like at least this much.
Got it.
Anyway,
I think you're
Moving
giving yourself
on.
too much credit.
RB2 for Trey is
Ooh, gotta pull the list back up. Jordan James from Oregon. Love him.
holy shit.
Big fan.
2?
Yeah.
We're
Big
gonna have
fan.
some surprises at 2 then, because he's not even in my 10.
Oh. Okay. Interesting.
Well, I know who your 2 is, Garrett.
Yeah, that's true. You know who my 2 is.
I know. What? 2?
2.
I mean, listen. You watch way more football than I do. I will agree that you are a better scout than I am, but 2 is absurd to me. But this is why you take the risk, and you
When you're pay off for him a lot, so
I mean,
he might be onto something.
So
love him.
I'm
He's gonna
about it.
run. He can really catch. I don't think people understand this. He was stealing carries away from Bucky Irving the year prior, and the year that he did, he was averaging over 7 yards a carry in a backup role.
Well, they didn't know who the fuck he was.
Right, but this is the thing. I mean, people really need to understand the recruiting aspect. Oregon doesn't get a guy like this 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They plucked this guy out of the heart of Tennessee. He should have been at Tennessee or Georgia or Alabama, but Oregon got him because Dan Lenning's there, and he was from the SEC, and they know how to recruit. He's not a typical Oregon back. I think he's going to be fucking unbelievable. So I will also be trying to draft him in every fantasy league coming up too.
Well, good to know. I need to watch more Jordan James.
Watch more
February
Jordan
11th.
James.
Trey just might have put us on game with Jordan James.
2 is where I had Ashton Genty. More of the same reasons you guys have already said. I think I'm the highest on him so far, so maybe I haven't caught up to y'all on the demise necessarily, but I still think he's going to play really well. I think
nobody's saying he's not going to play well.
Okay, well, let me talk. It's my turn. Okay, but I think if you put him in an NFL offense with more weapons, better linemen going against, of course, better defenses, I think he will prevail. Not kind of face Penn State and be the only guy that can play and then get fucked. And then, it's kind of like, oh, well, I think
the argument about the Penn State game that makes me laugh is that, oh, well, Ashton Genty still put up 100 yards against a really good Penn State defense. It took him like 28 carries to get there. He averaged like 3 yards a carry.
Is he going to have enough, tread on the wheels? Because, I mean, he took
Great
so many
question.
fucking carries.
Great question.
He's going to have enough in the tank to still be able to play NFL ball, or it's going to be a lot harder. I mean, like, he was, averaging 30, 35 carries a game. So, I mean, like, it's a shit ton of carries, and they'll take a wear and tear on you. Even though he wasn't necessarily injured at college, like, your body's going to, wear and tear system, NCAA, if you don't know what the fuck we're talking about, like, go play NCAA. Wear and tear is a real thing, so when he gets to the NFL, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets banged up a little bit sooner than some are expecting. But, when Dallas takes him at 12, that's he will sell a lot.
He might go higher than that.
I just wish you wouldn't say things like that because
as long as he avoids 6, it's all that matters.
I'm talking about draft malpractice here, okay? And I mean, one team is just notorious, okay? So
I think your one hope for this is, though, Brady is in charge, and if Brady learned anything, it's that they used 1,000 backs in New England.
Yeah. Well, I know we will have a small white guy as a wide receiver too, somewhere, somehow.
He's gonna be good.
Yeah.
You might take the TCU guy right out of your backyard.
Well, we'll see, but I don't know. Anyway, but I have Genty at 2. As of right now, he's still gonna be really productive in the NFL. Will not be deserving of a first round grade. Not many people are. Not many running backs, I should say.
How high do you think Genty goes in dynasty drafts?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. if it's the casuals that just kind of play it every year, or like enough to where they do rookie drafts, he'll go top 3 at least.
He'll be the first pick.
You think?
Every time.
Who do you think is the rightful person who should be the first overall pick in dynasty drafts?
Jeremiah Smith, if you're allowed to pick him.
Okay, well, how about leagues that are just drafting rookies for this year? Because Jeremiah Smith and like Ryan Williams are like.
Because I don't know what's going to happen in my league, but Jeremiah Smith should 1,000% be the first pick.
That's true.
That guy is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Not even old enough to vote, and it was just grown men was just making him look silly. No, but like I don't like that question because I like fits too in the NFL. Trey, I know y'all do y'all's rookie drafts years in advance. But I also
want to get in on Trey's league because that seems keeping the rookies and the college players like that seems so much fun.
It is.
Well, it rewards the people that watch college.
That's true too. That is true. My running back 2 in the class, and it appears that I'm way higher on this guy than everybody else is. I have Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee. I think that leading the SEC should carry some weight, even if it kind of was a down year. Being the league leader in the best conference in football should carry some weight to it. This dude is the definition of home run hitter. I think that you get him the ball, you get him you don't even necessarily need to get him in space. He will create the space for himself. Right? Big playability, super producer on a Tennessee offense that was supposed to be led by Nico the Floor is Lava. Trey kind of touched on it earlier when he went over Sampson. Nico didn't really take that next step some people were looking for, and Tennessee's offense kind of needed to rely on someone like Sampson. He delivered, right? I think he's going to fly at the combine. I think he's going to fly up rankings. I think Sampson is somebody that can fit in most offenses because of his elusiveness at the line and his breakaway speed.
Subject to change. If he's number 2 on my list, I would not be surprised.
It is interesting though, because I'm assuming that we all have the same top running back, and that seems to be the minority because everybody has Benji.
Jade Knott, number 1. It was a joke.
You know what school he went to?
He went to Cal.
Nice.
Subject to change.
Well done.
Subject to change. So.
All right, Trey, who's your running back 1?
Trey Van Henderson, number 1. I already have him in fantasy, so I'm happy about that. I just think he has a different gear than everybody else.
Could score a fucking touchdown though, please. He's begging.
He scored plenty against Texas.
I needed it against Notre Dame.
I mean, not that it's a surprise. He was the number 1 running back recruit coming out of high school, but the way he runs, the gear that he has, nobody has it. Nobody has it. You could argue that Singleton maybe had it, but other than that, when he's not in this class,
surprised, by the way. I definitely thought he was declaring.
I thought he was declaring as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. Gun to my head, which running back I'm taking that dude because he's just #built different.
That's one that could go in the first round, but you don't do it. You just can't. But
he's not going to go in the first round now.
No. So
he might be there.
It's going to be a steal though.
He might be there at pick 60.
Late second, early third, and that whoever picks him.
That changes your letter grade for the draft in general. That a pick like that at 60 or in the early part of the third round takes your class from C to B or B to A because that dude, he's legit.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be able to play, and people might say, well, he had Judkins too there, but still, even then,
it's not even about that. I mean, the 2 years, his freshman year, he was unbelievable. The
freshman All-American.
The sophomore year, he kind of got hurt, but the games that he did play, he had some sick runs against Notre Dame that year. I think he's going to be better than Dobbins. I think he's got a shot to be better than when Zeke came out. I think he might be like Eddie George good.
That's a comparison right there.
Could be.
I don't necessarily.
He's got some lightning rod to him. He's got lightning rod to him.
I keep making this comparison. Is he reminds me of A-Chain if A-Chain had NFL weight to him. He's got that next level that he hits that some other guys just can't.
He probably won't run as fast, but I understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because Achan's like in the Chris Johnson tier.
Yeah. But,
He's that
but like
good?
in terms of like
In terms of like who he
Like,
is,
pure
kind of
speed.
running
Yeah.
wise.
I know. I'm just joshing you.
Chickster.
Oh, I thought everyone here had Henderson.
Well, just for the record keeping sake, you have Trevion Henderson RB1.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna try to say his first name, but yeah, I have Henderson at number 1 too. I mean, it was if Singleton declared, it would have been him or Singleton. So, but now that he's out, he's kind of like the clear number 1. And this, I mean, people are gonna be like, well, these guys are fucking idiots. They don't have Genty at number 1, and it's just go.
Trey has him at 4, and I have him at 3.
Well, I have
we must be really fucking stupid.
Well, I have Matt too. So
that is an interesting conversation because Alex mentioned it just a minute ago that we were both surprised that Singleton didn't declare and he decided to stay back. I wonder who would be the RB1 in this class between Singleton and Henderson. I would probably have Singleton, but it's a much closer conversation than the RB1 and 2 officially on this list now.
I don't
think anybody's going to have the conversation. I think every single person is just going to slide Genty there.
I think I have
Regardless.
Singleton 1, and then
I would probably also I would probably have Singleton 1 as well. That dude, he still somehow still isn't being used right at Penn State with Kolnecki. I think that's how you pronounce his last name at OC. The offense looked a little bit different, but I mean, I fucking pound the rock with him and watch what happens.
They're gonna try to win a national championship.
The less carries he has, the better.
Yeah,
it helps his NFL production.
Keep using Katron Allen.
And he's not bad either.
Yeah.
So I like him too. But yeah, it's Henderson, number 1. If you don't have that, even though that's could be subject to change, I don't see it changing. So
that probably won't change for me.
I don't see that changing for me either.
So
unless something happens between now and then, like.
And if you're just over there going like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Go watch.
We'll
not even that
in a year.
Not even that. What the fuck are these guys talking about? Go look at my running back rankings from last year, and then go look at everybody else's and see who was right.
Trey was in fact the only person on the planet who had Bucky Irving as RB1. So
apparently, and no one else.
Subject to change because there's proof out there.
Go look at the mainstream media list. He wasn't even in their top 5.
That is fair.
Yeah, but you said nobody, and I was just like, hey, I guess we're nobodies to Trey.
You don't even like Jordan James.
I'm gonna have to go back and like look at some Jordan James shit because apparently I'm missing something.
Please
understand this, Trey, that I respect you enough to where I'm like, if he has Jordan James at 2, there's something that I might be missing.
That's what I'm saying. Like I must be missing something about Jordan.
Because if Daniel Jeremiah said Jordan James is at 2, I would call him a fucking idiot.
Okay.
But
But he wouldn't ever have that.
Well, he doesn't even watch the games.
Right.
He doesn't watch. Yeah, he proved he didn't watch tape. So.
He's got Isaiah Bond, number 1 wide receiver.
Is he really?
No, I'm just playing.
Stop it.
But you see how you felt for that.
He's got Matthew Golden really high though. I think he has Golden as like wide receiver 2 in the class.
This is a topic for another time. But why is Matthew Golden rated so fucking high?
We'll probably discuss Matthew
Is he
Golden
really being ranked in the first round?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are starting to have Golden as a first round talent, which is
I don't like that.
Egregious.
He's better than Isaiah Bond, but that's about as far.
To be fair, Chickster is better than Isaiah Bond.
Yeah.
Hey, put me in right now.
Stinks. Can we get a stinks from you on the way out?
Who, for me?
Yeah, from you.
On Isaiah Bond?
On Isaiah Bond, yeah.
Chickster, did you watch some of the jump catches that Isaiah Bond tried to make? I'm going to jump into it and then never have a prayer at catching it. That dude stinks. I mean, he's just not good.
I didn't think we were going to get there. All right, nice.
He stinks.
I'm really glad we got there in the end. For record keeping, I also have Trevion Henderson number 1 before we get out of here.
No, he stinks. Now, me, I know I can't jump, but I'm a cheat. Like I'm a cheat. Like I pull down jerseys. I push down hips. I'm gonna do whatever I can.
Not only does he push down hips, he'll get you in the solar plex area, in the ribs. He'll give you one real quick when he's breaking out of routes. Yeah, I know this firsthand. He's a dirty fucker.
Good for you.
You ain't cheating. You ain't trying. It's only a penalty if they call it. All right.
That's fair. All right. Any last words from you guys before we wrap it up and get out of here?
I'm better than Isaiah Bond. That's all I heard, and that's everything I need in life right now to get me through this next week. So I'm good. I heard that Isaiah Bond 1-on-1. You suck.
How about some guys that might end up making my list that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, let's hear them.
I don't know if I like the Syracuse back, LaQuint Allen, but I might. Haven't made a total determination on that yet. I also really like the Auburn running back, Jarquez Hunter. I don't think he's terrible either.
I'm actually kind of surprised Donovan Edwards was not you were very high on him last year.
Well, he just didn't get any better.
Yeah.
And Mulling stole his job.
Yeah.
So, and he had some horrible fumbles at the Senior Bowl. I mean, horrible.
What about a guy Jaquavius Marks?
Yeah.
Nothing special.
My favorite rep that he had at the Senior Bowl is when they were doing pass catching and he's just standing out of bounds on a route. It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Awareness. His man range just went awareness to 50. Okay.
God, and just tanked overall as well. All right. That's it. You just saw our top 10 rankings for the 2025 NFL Draft running back class. Want to give a huge thanks to Trey, the Don of Vendetta Sports Media, for joining us on this episode. For Chickster, my name is Garrett Burrows. One half of the Draft Busters down there is below the other half. Thanks for watching another video. If you liked the video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up on it. Comment down below what you thought of our rankings. Is Trey way too high on Jordan James? Am I too high on Dylan Sampson? Are we crazy if you're not having Ashton Jeanty higher?
Don't put a ranking down there if you're going to put Jeanty at number 1.
Sound off in the comments. Let us know. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss any more uploads coming out of the Vendetta Sports Media YouTube channel leading up to the 2025 NFL Draft and beyond. We're going to see you next time.